Are we done? Are we good? No
Yeah.
music today. Oh, I missed the music. Live from the Corvette section of Matt Moscardi's classic car collection. It's a Business Pants Friday.
You were streaming live right now,
That's it. Okay.
which
You guys
which I
really
forgot
bring
we
no
were going to
fun.
do.
It's not even a
And
Yep.
whoop, clap.
Wait, we're live?
we're live. We're live on air.
Is that why Ari shut her camera off? We got Emma
No.
Lurking, Matt Moscardi, our chief pundit, and the data queen, Ari, who is probably the most glamorous out of all of us, and yet her camera doesn't seem to be working. So figure that one out.
That's on purpose. That's to make us not feel objectively worse about ourselves.
And we all know when I say that deep down I am the most glamorous by far.
Look at that hair.
This week, we're as everyone knows who listens to us regularly, we're always trying new things. Here's what we're going to try this week. This is our new Friday conversation show, and we're going to break it up into 5. I guess it was going to be 4 neat segments, but Emma kind of ruined it. We got Story of the Week, brought to you by me, the nasally wonder. We've got Ass Holiest of the Week, brought to us by our chief. You know what I'm going to say
Asshole
next.
pundit.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise it goes to Matt Moscardi. We got the goodliest of the week going to our very wonderful, very
Goodliest,
wonderful
our goodliest, Ari.
data queen. We have our wokeliest of the week going to Emma Lurking, who was already upset at that list, so she created her own new list, which we can talk about later. And that's it. Maybe we'll do a few other things, but we'll stick with that format and we'll see how it goes. Are you ready?
Yep.
Ari is.
We're all ready. Ari's
Do we want to hit
Ari's
pause
ready.
for
She's-
Ari's sake?
No, she's ready. She's just lagging. She'll catch up.
Okay.
It's her.
So the
fault.
fact that
She
she
can't-
can't hear or see anyone doesn't bother you, Matt? You want to just push
Not-
forward?
The fact that she can't hear or see us does not matter at all to me.
Well, I think I heard her giggle, so we're good. Let's go. Honestly, Ari, if you really can't hear us, we'll hit pause. But
Ari will
Matt,
just
but we're
restart.
going
Just-
live, so I think Matt
Gonna
enjoys this.
restart. We're
secretly.
live. This is funny to me now. Now it's
All right.
It's classic.
And Ari, you can
Classic Ari.
see my stories of the week in the document. So
Oh,
now she
she's gone.
now she can't.
Ari can
Okay.
Ari can see your stories of the week. She'll know where we are, so she'll be able to vote when she jumps back on. She'll catch
I'm
up.
gonna
She's
put
smart.
the run. I want to put the running clock on Ari because I want to see how long it takes her to restart. I'm giving her a 5-second head start there. All right, the clock is
Oh.
running. Here we go. Oh, it took
That was
only
quick.
6 seconds. That's not bad, Ari. I thought you were gonna like unplug your dehumidifier and run around the block and do all kinds of weird stuff. But
Nope.
you're back. All right,
Elegant.
good. Story of the week. Let's go. And I'm going to remind our listeners that we behind the scenes here we actually do stuff. Okay, we have accumulated hundreds, if not. Okay, it's hundred. To be fair, it's hundreds of headlines every week to pick from. I looked over all of them to pick these 3 stories of the week. So this is not just me opening up, the Drudge Report. Does that still exist, Matt? The Drudge Report?
Does anybody read that anymore? He's
I
not.
don't know.
I think
What
actually
is
he's
that?
officially not.
He's a jerk, right?
conservative enough. I think
He
he's
switched
moved-
over,
I think he's not conservative enough anymore. He's like a
Okay.
moderate for the.
so he's nothing. So no one cares him
Americans.
anymore.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here are my 3 stories of the week, and you all can vote on them. Here we go. The University of California, Santa Barbara's Megadorm is an architectural horror story. This is the
did
Charlie
like this
Munger
story.
story of the Charlie Munger is Warren Buffett's BFF over at Berkshire Hathaway. He's like 900,000 years old, a billionaire.
It's an underestimate.
And he donated a very large sum of money to University of California, Santa Barbara, with the stipulation that they follow his designs precisely, despite the fact that he is not an architect. And the story here is that 94% of the students in this new dorm will not have windows.
What?
Yeah, they'll have virtual windows, right, Matt? Virtual light in their room.
What?
And
They
what's
are
virtual light?
instrumental.
Isn't that just light? What is virtual light?
It's not. It's artificial light. It's
Okay,
not
virtual
sunlight.
natural light.
Artificial
No, it was called
sunlight.
virtual in the article. So that's the story, and I mostly picked that one because I mean, it's just obvious. First of all, we love railing on America's most cuddly investor, Warren Buffett, and we love railing on his vampire friend Charlie Munger. But this is too much. I mean, come on.
I actually think this confirms the theory that he's actually a vampire, doesn't it? I mean, who else refuses windows? And
Oh,
he's
that's
had
a good
quote
point.
about
Okay,
he had
so
a
he's
quote
proving
about
us right.
daylight, right? Like who you don't
Yeah.
you know like it's something about
overrated.
like like whiny young people needing their daylight. It was
Well,
some nonsense.
It's
Here's
just
his
a
point.
Sick
Yeah.
experiment.
Okay, and this, you're right, Ari. It is an experiment. Here's his point. His point is that make the dorm rooms really crappy so that people will congregate in these beautiful, meeting rooms or whatever. That's his point. This is his brilliant point.
My literal nightmare.
I mean, yeah, he
Can't
Don't
you
make
do
me
both
argue
though,
on these
Charlie?
people as a
Can't you
joke.
give them windows and give them beautiful meeting
look.
rooms? Why can't we do both?
Look, congrats to Charlie Munger for recreating ancient French prisons. I mean, somebody had to do it in the modern age, and I'm glad that he's making UC Santa Barbara get it done.
Hey, if I could get free
Forcing.
sign me up.
No, where's the free tuition here, Ari? What are you reading?
I'm just saying, if
But
I could.
There's
All right,
no free
here's-
tuition here.
Here would be, not knowing the rest of the stories of the week, here would be my plug for this being the story of the week. Isn't this the ultimate encapsulation of, we love to hold these billionaires on high pedestals and they like just give us the money and we will be philanthropists and we will make the world better. If we have the money, we can. This is what happens when the billionaires have the money and make the choices. It's not like UC Santa Barbara could go back and be like, excuse me, Mr. Munger, we know you're a 6,000-year-old vampire, but this doesn't work for the modern human. Can we maybe alter the designs a little bit, like with just windows?
No. Matt, I mean, I'd like to tell you that this is new, but this has been going on my entire lifetime where billionaires give money to universities and the stipulation is that they're going to build a giant scoreboard, right?
That's
for the study.
usually what it
that's
is,
what the
yeah.
money is for.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Fun times. All right. The second story of the week is along those lines. Matt, I think you covered this story. Elon Musk said he would donate $6 billion if the UN could prove it would help the hunger crisis. So there's been a lot of buzz going around that it would take $6 billion to kind of solve the hunger crisis with a certain population that is really on death's door, right? Like crisis level hunger. And of course, bratty Elon Musk wants the UN to prove. And first of all,
prove
like,
it.
who is Elon Musk to understand their proof in the first place, right? I mean, that is the part that is lost on me. How is he going to figure out the UN's plan, whether it's good or bad, just because he's rich selling stupid cars? I don't get this part of it.
He's basically saying, prove to me that a windowless dorm won't work. Just prove
Wait.
to me that.
Didn't he just say, show me a plan?
No,
a plan?
he wanted to see the plan, and he was going to like run it through his numbers calculator, or because he's been spending his whole life. Yeah, because he's been spending his whole life on anti-poverty crusades.
Fine, but if you're the UN, wouldn't you just show him the plan?
They did willingly, immediately. It's not that. I mean, the UN.
They did.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the UN doesn't find this kind of thing funny. I mean, they really desperately need this money, and they're willing to, of course, to show it to anyone. It's just that the audacity of this "if" statement is, to me, is why I picked this story of the week. It's
Also,
ridiculous.
why would the UN care about keeping the plan to solve world hunger confidential? Like,
Yeah,
who cares
I
if
know,
other
that
people
part
know what
made
the
no
plan
sense to
is?
me.
yeah. And how about the fact that he's not even going into his big fat Muskian wallet for this? All he would have to do is sell shares of his stupid company. So it's not even like real money anyway. It's like it's mythical computer money that doesn't even really exist yet. So there's it's no effort for this dude.
then that's the grand con, isn't it? Like,
Right.
it's not just Elon Musk, because Jeff Bezos spent
No, it's not just not just
that
Musk.
amount of money. Jeff Bezos spent to pierce the mesopause with a penis-shaped rocket.
Oh.
He spent that amount of money. The estimate was
Had to
something
go
like
there.
$5 billion is how much it cost Jeff Bezos, like, to make Blue Origin, and for what? So that you could have a space office park. That's what we're working on right now, a space office park for the cost of solving world hunger for at least a year. That's the part it's 5% of Elon Musk's net worth. If he defrayed that amongst what, 5 different billionaires,
But
do you
Matt,
think they
yeah.
all can't cough up $1 billion?
But in a year, that could be 1% of his net worth. I mean, Tesla always seems to keep going up and up and up anyway. So, all right, that's the second story. The last story is it's a bit less fun. It's the metaverse
It's
story.
way more fun. What do you mean?
I have
The other two were sad.
I have two metaverse headlines here, but basically the story of the week is the metaverse. But the first is this outrageous announcement from Facebook, which I can't get over. To me, this is like that they're admitting it so quickly that this whole renaming is just complete dupe, just to fuck with people. But the announcement was that Facebook's facial recognition, they're going to get rid of facial recognition at Facebook, right? And I think they're appealing to Emma types, being like, "Look at us, we're good, like we're doing something." But the subtext, and it's not very sub, it's right there, is that does not apply to the company Meta platforms, the new company, only Facebook, right? Meta, of course, is reserving the right to use it. So I guess, Matt, when they say they're deleting these pictures, they're not deleting them. They're doing a control A, and then a control C, and then they're doing control V to the Meta platforms folder, right? That's all they're really doing.
Well, they can delete.
You
They
can just
can
drag and drop, Damien.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
all.
do
That's
that.
it. That's all
Yeah.
that's going on.
Come
That's all
on,
that's going
Damien.
on. No, I'm sure it's all command line stuff over there because they're nerds.
Well, the thing is that they will probably delete the photos out of Facebook, but it's not that they're deleting the algorithm and the ownership of the algorithm. They're just basically it's like pressing reset and then applying the same algorithm at Meta platforms instead of Facebook.
But the point is,
'Cause
Matt, they're
in
not
that
deleting
way-
anything. They're not deleting anything. They're deleting them, from the Facebook part of Mark Zuckerberg's Meta Platforms company, but they're not going anywhere. They're just not being used at Facebook.
Look, this is something we should celebrate because it means that at Meta platforms, we will very quickly get to castigate them for equating primates and black men, or thinking that car washes are what was it, like they were mistaking car washes for shootings or something like that. It was something crazy.
mass shootings.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, this is
Car
just,
washes? Wait, what, excuse me?
wasn't it car washes? What
Yeah.
was it?
A
Yeah, it
picture of a car wash was a mass shooting?
their algorithm mistook for a mass shooting. So I honestly,
Okay, is that wrong? I'm not to be an idiot, but is that not correct? Is a car wash not a mass shooting? I'm lost.
we'll ask McDonald's CEO Chris
Oh.
Kaczynski later.
Kaczynski.
I
How
just
dare
think
you.
it's great. I think it's great because
right.
all we've done is elevate it.
And the second part of the metaverse
Into the
story, this is my third story of the week. My second part is the really troubling but obvious. I mean, I knew this was coming, but Nike is quietly preparing for the metaverse. So nothing
Do
kind of
we know
made me
what that's
sadder.
gonna look like?
Yeah, nothing made me
Yeah.
sadder than the idea of people now spending the money that they should be spending on clothing, food, and shelter on buying virtual Air Jordan 34s in a metaverse. Like I know it's kind of funny, but these are the kind of stories, Ari, that make Damien cry himself to sleep at night.
Wow, that is not how I understood it. I literally
Alright,
Well,
to
how do
answer
you
your
understand it?
question, all right, what Nike did was they filed 7 trademarks for virtual goods. So they filed the swoosh logo, they filed I think Jumpman, they filed Jordans, so that they can brand their virtual stuff.
Yeah, and
I'm
again,
so
no-
silly. I
yeah.
thought people were gonna put on like their VR glasses and go into a Nike store and then try it on virtually and then actually
That
buy
sounds
it
good.
and get
I
it
like
shipped to
that.
their house, not like buy virtual shoes.
Oh,
No,
yeah. Yeah.
It's buying
No, that
virtual shoes.
Ari, that's the utilitarian approach to the metaverse, and that's why, like, I'm letting you work at this company because you're not a monster, unlike Emma. But Emma does work for this company. But no, that's not. And this is not a new thing. I mean, I realize this has been around for a long time. I remember the first time I have my friend, a Japanese friend, who told me that she sells. I don't even know what it was. She designs things for some metaverse and sells them to be worn in this virtual world. Like, and my mind was blown. I was just like, what the, like, people spend their money to buy T-shirts. Really, my mind was blown.
But wait, this isn't new.
And that's what I'm
Did
saying.
you have-
I was
did
saying
you
it's
ever
not
play
new,
the
but
game
it
The
scares me.
Sims?
Scares me.
Did you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The Sims is
No,
just that.
I didn't. I know, but I'm still frightened by it because now that we're
All
gonna
right,
be
are we-
peddling this to children. All right, that's it. Those
Are
are my
we
three
voting?
stories. Yeah. Charlie Munger's Megadorm, Musk might donate to the UN, and then the metaverse. We can quietly give our answers, slowly give our answers while Emma returns. So what do you think? I'll start with you, Ari. What is your story of the week?
Oh, the windowless building,
Yeah,
of
okay.
course.
Yeah.
All right.
it's-
You kidding
Matt,
me?
you agree?
I'm going to second that. That's fantastic.
Emma,
And-
story of the week.
I'm going Elon.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, Emma has a thing for Elon. Let's be honest.
yeah. It
Like,
doesn't matter. You put Elon in there,
Yes.
she's
if
gonna.
we
I
ask
bet you
Emma
he's
to do
gonna it.
we ask Emma to do any list at this show, and Elon always makes her list every single stupid time.
He's
So
not
I'll
gonna-
admit, Emma.
Ironically,
Admit it,
he's
Emma.
not on either of my lists this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lie. That's a lie. He's on. Okay, he's in your prediction. So come on.
Get
I
it
mean,
right.
Come on.
Yeah, no.
What are we doing?
That's
That
the
is a
story of the
list.
week. It's 100% the story of the week because we need to see if he follows through. They gave him the plan, so is he going to do it? Has to be.
I mean, I
think
almost
he's gonna
don't.
do it. My prediction is he's gonna
Yeah.
do it.
Oh,
I'm
that's for
sorry.
later.
Wow.
It's
It's not
later,
prediction
Ari. It's
time.
later. Yeah. I almost don't
Wow.
want him to do it. I want another billionaire to step up on this one because I don't want him taking credit for anything at this point. So
I want
Why?
the lost Walmart billionaire who's making the town of Tolosa to pick up this mantle instead.
Well, isn't Grimes worth like 80 billion at this point? Why can't Grimes write that check? I mean, they're going through a divorce, right?
I'll ask her.
I'll
Okay,
take
anyway.
Jack, somebody writes.
Were they ever married?
Oh, okay, Emma. You know what are we doing here? And married is
In
so
order to
important
get
to
a
you.
settlement, you need to have been
No, that's-
married and
no,
then
that's
get
not true.
divorced.
Don't
For
get
someone who
Fabian
was-
started on the
For,
legality.
no,
of
for someone who was in a not married relationship for the first 20 years of my life, including two children, that is such a lie. That is
the
not
first
true.
20 years of your life.
And
No,
she would've
we-
taken you to
0
the
to 20.
cleaners.
I don't
Yeah,
even
that
think
is
they were
not
long.
true, Emma.
If
I don't even think they were
Courtney
together
called-
long enough to be in a civil union. Like
No,
Grimes
get
gets
over
nothing.
yourself. No, you're crazy. You're like living an I Love Lucy episode. What are you talking about? All right, listen.
I love Lucy. So
I could call this a tie and agree with Emma, but and, you know, everyone knows that I'm usually fond of Emma's opinions, but for this one, she's completely wrong. It has to be this. It has to be this megadorm. I mean, it is just the idea that he would force them to
Megadorm,
use
number one.
his architectural plans when he's not even an architect, and that 94% of these poor students are not going to have access to a window is just literally beyond me. I mean,
to the
this-
window.
I mean, for free float media, this is like
Ari, we don't have the
kind of as
copyright
great
for
as this is kind of as great as it gets for our headlines, like because this is like the Onion coming true in free float media, right? I mean, this is nuts, absolutely nuts.
I think I asked you if that was a real story when it broke.
Absolutely
I-
nuts.
you did.
it
And
was
from
pretty
Munger of
amazing.
all people, from our guy Munger. This is why you should listen to us because we predict doom. All right, I'm gonna pass the baton
The
to
Batoon.
to Chief Pun. I'm all jacked up on extra strength English breakfast tea, so be careful of me.
Yeah, wow.
Matt, take it away. Assholiest of the week. This is
All
you. I'm
right.
going to shut up. I'm going to shut up.
The rules
Right
of
now, I'm
Matt's
shutting up.
assholiest
Right
of the
now.
week. I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
give you
shut
the rules. I'm going to
There are
give you the
new
rules
rules?
before.
I
No,
just
here are
learned
the
old
rules.
ones.
The rules are: it cannot be Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, or
Yeah, because
Damien.
they are permanent. Or who? Damien?
They are
They are
permanent
permanent
assholes.
assholes. Right. Thank you.
We are only looking for temporary assholes of the week.
Although
Or new
Yeah, so
assholes.
your Yeah, I don't know. You're number 3. All right, go ahead, Matt.
Rule number 2, it does not have to be a person. It can be a company, a country, or even an object can be the asshole.
Oh, so even an
that's
asshole
good.
can be an
That's fine.
asshole of the week.
An asshole itself can be its own asshole.
Is an
Where's
asshole an
Flippy?
object?
Flippy's the asshole of the week.
Exactly. Flippy can be the asshole of the week. That's the point here. So, and for definitions, we are going to use the term asshole. Are you ready for this? I actually looked this up. It's going to be an objective binary, and the use of the definition will be as Aaron James, who's a professor at UC Irvine in the philosophy department, actually.
So he has a window.
He actually wrote. He's not at Santa Barbara. He wrote a whole definition of asshole, and it is, quote, the guy who systematically allows himself special advantages in cooperative life out of an entrenched sense of entitlement that immunizes him against the complaints of other people. Basically,
Aaron Rodgers.
anybody.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
Wow, well played.
So I don't think I qualify. I drive a 2011 Subaru. Can you take me off your permanent asshole list? Come on.
Is that your mom's car or your actual car?
Oh,
Jesus.
wow.
No, as we all know, as this company knows, my mom's car is way better than mine. It's like
Is
a
the company car,
2017
actually.
or something. Yeah.
Here are your asshole of the week selections. I will go through them with reasoning, and if you want more, I will tell you.
There's more than reasoning. What's the next step above reasoning?
I can give you more context about the story.
Okay,
Number 1, business dude and Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver.
Oh.
Robert Sarver, the headline driving this asshole of the week is ESPN report finds Phoenix Sun owner Robert Sarver racist and sexist.
And great.
ESPN interviewed 70 Suns employees and ex-employees, and I can tell you some of the stuff if you want it. I'm not going to go.
Give us a few. Give us a few
All
highlights.
right, here we go. They found that in over 70 interviews, Sarver repeatedly used the N-word. He used it when arguing whether he could say the N-word as many times as Draymond Green said it by saying it more times.
That's reasonable. So it's a little bit of a Papa John there. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those things though where he slipped it out. He actually intentionally said it like 100 times.
He misses the use of it. Yeah, okay.
He said he hired a black coach only because he was black, saying, quote, these N-words need an N-word to coach them.
Ugh.
Nicely played, Robert Sarver. He talked about his wife performing oral sex on him in staff meetings. He asked players and other members of the staff about their sex lives, and including pantsing one of his male executives in front of 60 other people.
Okay, enough.
Pantsing.
I've heard enough.
Wow.
All right. Okay.
I love middle school.
How do we get more assholey than that? So this is the owner of the Phoenix Suns.
Owner of the Phoenix Sun, Robert Sarver. Number 2, the city of Quebec.
How dare you?
Quebec. Get
exactly.
it right.
Quebec.
Damien will yell at you.
I don't like this. I don't like this already.
Here's the headline. Air Canada CEO apologizes, commits to learning French as backlash in Quebec grows. So
I love this story.
Air Canada's CEO said, when asked by a reporter about his French, that it was a testament to Montreal that he's lived there for years.
Yeah, 13 years.
Without having to learn French.
Yeah.
After in a speech he spoke French very badly.
Audacious.
All the politicos in Quebec immediately attacked him, citing the facts that French is an official language of Canada.
Absolutely.
And how dare you, and yada, yada, yada. So here's some reasoning for you why I would pick Quebec.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
So, hey, Quebec.
Yeah,
there are more people on the board of Air Canada that speak French than there are people of color on the board of Air Canada. If you want to be outraged about something ridiculous, try the fact that 8 out of the 12 board members are white men. There's one lady who's a person of color. White guys are 3 of the 4 board chairs. And guess how many executive women there are?
0.
8 out of 11 are white men, and the 3 that are women are the head of marketing, the head of human resources, and the corporate secretary.
Wait, so who are you mad at here? I don't understand. You're mad at who?
I'm
mad
mad
at
at
the city.
The asshole
What's
here is
happening
the
here?
city for getting
No.
angry.
No, it's not just the city, by the
Honestly,
way.
Air Canada reports that
just the city.
15 out of 100 full-time employees get injured per year. But what we're outraged about is fucking French language speaking by the
All right.
CEO.
See,
Come on.
I'm going to
That's
speak
just
to my
pure asshole.
friends. I'm speaking now to my friends in Montreal and the great country of Canada. Matt is an idiot. He knows nothing about any of this.
My friends in Croatia will back me on this.
You know zero. Yeah, so I'm so on the side of, and it's not Quebec here. I mean, it's maybe the province of Quebec, but it's not just him. It's there are ministers in the government. Trudeau is pissed. It's not just
I'm
Quebec
saying
City.
if you're going to get pissed at a company, get pissed at them for something that matters way more than speaking bad French.
I love this story, and I'm so anti Air Canada CEO for not learning French. It's dopey and it's piggish.
CEO number 3, Francophile, that we're going with for the asshole of the week. McDonald's CEO Chris.
Okay, I can get behind this. Okay.
Headline: Critics slam McDonald's CEO text message about the shooting deaths of 2 children as ignorant, racist, and unacceptable. For the record, he sent an email to the mayor of Chicago after 2 shootings happened in McDonald's drive-thrus. That it was the parents' fault, effectively, is what he said. So my reasoning here is, in the last 2 weeks, McDonald's workers went on strike for sexual harassment issues. They announced they won't be able to get their dopey restaurants to net zero before 2050. So we've got like oil companies that are shooting before McDonald's can get to net zero. And the CEO sending texts to the Chicago mayor claiming shootings at his restaurants were parents' fault. I don't think we need more reasoning than that for him to be the asshole of the week. What is your vote? I'm going to start with Emma because Emma, I feel like all of these are actually written for Emma to consider.
No, stop it. Emma's on my side about number 2. If Emma's not on my side,
Emma hates Canada. She
no,
hates Canada
no, she
and
likes
everybody
French
in it
Canada.
because
They're
guess
socialists. She likes socialists.
You know what? You know who's worse than an invading country, like the French taking over from indigenous people and then demanding that you speak their language to a CEO of a mostly white male board. Like that feels so Emma outragey to me that one might actually win as asshole of the week over Robert Sarver saying the N-word a million times and Chris Kaczynski being an asshole. So I'm going to start with Emma because I want to know.
It's an official language of the country. Get over it.
So Emma's going to talk now about Emma's opinions. How does that sound? Good?
I'm bored already.
On the edge of my seat.
So
that was just called foreshadowing. We were
on.
just building you up.
I'm done. I'm done talking.
What you think.
So my answer is Robert Sarver. That is my asshole of the week. But I will give an honorable mention to Quebec because when I saw that article, the thought that literally ran through my head was, no one knows any of the Canadian Indigenous languages. Like the French colonized Canada. It is a colonial language that is in that country that never would have been there if the French had never come in. And while I don't want to discount like the importance of French to modern Canada, it feels way hypocritical. The only thing is that he did technically break a law in Canada that says that it has to be accessible in French and English, and he gave a speech exclusively in English and didn't offer a French option. That is what I'll say. But Robert Sarver sucks, and I'm mad at him.
Thank you.
Ari, you're next.
Robert Sarver, man, he sucks. He's the biggest asshole. He really did not have to do that, and he knew that, and he just didn't give a shit. So.
Well, just for background here, Sarver did inherit his father's businesses and then managed to sell them for a lot of money.
This is the guy we have to listen to?
Founded a bunch of banks that she sold to Zion's Bank Corporation and then founded some real estate companies. He generally follows that pattern of like inherity, white male-y, kid billionaire-y, like gimme patterns.
Can you say more asshole things than that? I don't think so. As holiest. Sorry.
Damien, I'm gonna guess you're just gonna go with Robert Sarver, and we
Yeah, I
just
mean,
continue with
I'm
this.
hoping that he's goes the way of Donald Sterling, the former Clippers owner, and I hope the NBA, the NBA, if there's a sports league that one would be considered like adult and for a lack of a better word, Emma, you're not going to hate me for this, woke, it would be the NBA
Buzz him.
because
Buzz him.
because there is an absolute a-hole in the National Football League named Daniel Snyder, who owns the Washington football racist team, who is just as bad as Sarver. There's some really heinous stuff out, but somehow he keeps ownership of that team. I have no idea how. So
You just gotta
yeah,
be
I'm with
friends
you.
with Jerry Jones and make a lot of
Sure.
money in the
Oh,
NFL. That's
disgusting,
the whole thing.
disgusting.
But
So I'm with you, and I hope Sarver's done. I hope
Robert
they figure out.
Sarver, congratulations! You are this week's assholiest.
3 votes.
All right,
for
thank
him.
you, Matt Mascardi. Moving on to our data queen, who looks bundled up. Are you outside, Ari, today?
No, I'm just in a non-insulated room.
What does that mean? You're in an outhouse
She's
with
complaining about the
Papa
office
John?
environment that I offer
Okay.
her. Like she can
All right.
go work out of her house, but she's complaining about mine.
It's worse.
Emma, who is the author of our what is the segment? The good segment? No, why do I forget this? The
Goodliest.
Future is Bright. The Future is Bright segment, our very own data queen, also co-host of Woke Data, another one of our amazing podcasts. She is bringing us the goodliest of the week list. What are your stories,
You want to
Ari?
know the 3 that I picked?
Yes.
Yes.
I'd also
do.
like it if you talked a little more directly into your
Hello.
microphone.
Oh,
Can
look
you
at this
hear me?
production, on-air live production. I like it.
Emma, am I
That-
good?
It'll be fine.
All right.
Please
I'm
continue.
Gonna start
Apologies for my rude interruption.
with Republican Senator Chuck Grassley. Damien, do you need something?
No, I'm promoting
Cheers.
our Etsy wear while you talk, so people know that they
On
can
our
go to our.
Etsy shop, Damien.
Yeah,
It
it's
should
not on our
be.
Etsy
It's
shop. It
beautiful.
will
It's my
be.
favorite mug. But you should go to our Etsy shop anyway and support Free Float Media.
All right. Anyway, Grassley spoke in favor of a Senate bill, the Ending Forced Arbitration of Sexual Assault and Sexual Harassment Act, during a Judiciary Committee meeting yesterday.
Well, she was actually agreeing with the other side of the aisle about
No,
something.
he's agreeing with me.
He's agreeing with you. Okay.
Yes.
That's what makes
All
it
right.
goodliest.
All right. So
And
that's one of
you
your
know
good
what?
stories.
That's great
Okay.
news. That's great news. We need more of that. All right. Next 2. They both involve the environment because, the
Okay.
most pressing issue of our time.
Yeah.
The U.S. and the UAE launched efforts to channel funding $4 billion into making agriculture resilient to climate change, as well as cutting its emissions. If
Okay.
you're not familiar, agricultural emissions, they make up a quarter of all emissions.
That's a weird combination. The United Arab Emirates and the U.S. They're the
leading
ones combined.
charge.
That's strange. Is there fertile soil in the UAE? Isn't it just
The UAE has a lot of money, and
Okay.
they have been using that money to
what?
develop a lot of
Okay.
like
News.
agri-
This is news to
tech.
me.
Yeah, when do I get to poo-poo that story?
All right, that sounds good. All right, go ahead, Ari.
So they got 30 countries and 40 NGOs across the world backing them, and yeah, they have raised $4 billion to do this. So that's great. And number 3, coming from Ithaca, New York. I sent this story to my friend yesterday, and her response was, "This makes me so happy." Therefore, it's really happy. Ithaca, New York, to be the first U.S. city to decarbonize every single building.
Okay.
They're the first city. They won't be the last.
That's
I don't
Alright.
know why
goodly.
you guys don't sound excited
I
about
don't.
this.
I gotta be honest with you, Ari. Like I respect you. I don't feel a rush of positive energy in my body with those 3
What?
stories. Like I feel
Oh,
like
I like the last one.
Unprecedented in the United States. Do you know how much carbon footprint
I'm with you.
buildings, old buildings, non-energy efficient buildings, like have?
I'm gonna have to go
forgot the
last
beginning.
on this vote. I want to hear what Matt and Emma has to say. I gotta because
Do you
I
guys
don't
need
know.
more information about?
I don't know how to
Ithaca?
vote on this.
No, I'm gonna produce more information about at least one of the stories.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ithaca.
No, Ithaca seems like I don't know a lot of the nuance of how they're going to decarbonize. Assuming they're not going to like just go buy carbon offsets and say it's
Oh,
decarbonized.
see that? I don't
No,
want to hear
no,
about
they're
that.
not.
That's that I think they're not planning on doing, right?
No.
They're,
Every single building. I mean, the infrastructure here in the East is so dilapidated and gross and uninsulated.
Yeah.
How the hell are they going to decarbonize every?
Just
I mean,
like
how does that
Matt's
even
house.
work? How is that even going to
I hear
happen?
you.
Do you have any more details, Ari?
Yeah. There is $100 million private
Okay.
financing company,
Okay.
and they're seeking up to $250 million for transitioning the city like to electric vehicles.
I mean,
So this is yeah,
Also, on top of the whole building thing.
but let's be
and this
clear.
is yeah,
Ithaca, New York. The population of Ithaca, New York is
40.
30,000 people. It's
Is-
like it's
is
30.
what?
It's
40.
31.
41 people.
Are you counting all the students that go there?
Nobody counts them.
No, nobody cares about students. But
They
the
make up a lot. They double the population during school.
but the population of West Hartford, Connecticut, where we are right now, is 63,000. So and nobody thinks of us as a standalone city that anyone cares about.
Show
So
off.
we're not
That's because
exactly
we're so
talking
close
about
to cities.
we're not talking about a tremendous amount.
All
of
right,
people and or
don't
buildings,
crap.
is all I'm
Don't
saying.
crap
That's
on
all
this
I'm
story.
saying. That's all
Are you?
I'm
Is
saying.
this?
Look at-
Are you
look at our
voting right
state.
now, Matt? Or is this? Are you in the process of
40%.
voting?
40% of the carbon
Yes, I'm
footprint
in the
comes from their
process of
buildings.
voting. I'm eliminating votes for myself.
Okay, I want to hear this.
It's,
I want to hear
it's
this.
mostly so. This is nice. I think it is good, but it's tiny. It's good,
not
but
tiny.
tiny. So I don't think it's the goodliest of the week. The U.S. and the UAE launching efforts in agriculture. So the subtext here that's very actually hidden is the fact that in 2016, 2015, 2014, the UAE was buying huge swaths of American water rights, which were on agricultural land,
Ugh,
as an
water rights.
investment. They weren't
Right.
actually developing it. So the UAE has a vested interest. The reason why you
Ah.
see that combination is not just the UAE was developing like, oh, they can
Interesting.
suck water out of the desert over there. It was actually that they were making stuff resilient by buying rights to water here and then sending it over there when they needed to, or saving it so that they could sell it back to the US when we were out of water. So very, very smart people in the UAE recognizing that water was going to be a valuable commodity, and now they get the press for it. So I'm glad that they're doing some $4 billion thing. You know, Elon Musk can write that check tomorrow, I guess, if he wanted to, if the UAE and the US could
Doesn't
prove
want to.
that agriculture matters. But
Get approved to Elon.
that leaves me with Chuck Grassley and the ending forced arbitration of sexual assault and sexual harassment.
Very
It's-
important.
How many bills are bipartisan anymore? Like what?
None.
0 bills are bipartisan. This is an actual bipartisan bill in
True.
which they're saying that companies can no longer force arbitration when there's an accusation or an alleged sexual harassment, sexual assault incident in that company. They're no longer going to be able to keep it quiet in that company. Nobody talks about it.
It's terrible.
It never
It's
really
terrible.
gets out. Instead, they're actually going to be on the hook for the full weight of the United States justice system, which, for better or worse, has its own problems, but at least it's not arbitration forced by the company. And Grassley, in his statement, actually says that there was an exception that the Democrats carved out for unions. I basically said you can, if there's a union, if you're represented by a union, then you use the union, process for this. And
Okay.
the Republicans, to their credit, said that weakens it. Just let everyone sue anybody who touches them, who assaults them. Whether there's anything, forget unions, not unions, make it open. It's a legitimately nice sounding bill. Hopefully it passes. So that's my goodliest of the week.
Okay, Emma, what's your vote? Goodliest story of the week.
Ithaca.
Really? I'm surprised. You seem like an anti-Cornell kind of person. All right, Ithaca one.
More than
I gotta
just
say-
Cornell, Damien.
It's
God.
not about Cornell.
I gotta say this. For the sake of this show and this list, I'm gonna go with Matt. I think Matt's right. This is
That's correct.
This is on 2021. I feel floored by that this still exists. But I'm going to say this, Ari, maybe you want to earmuffs, cover your ears. I think Ari missed the best story of the week, and that to me is Michelle Wu making history as the first woman and first person of color elected mayor of Boston. I love Michelle Wu so much that it's embarrassing. So there you go. Elizabeth Warren disciple Michelle Wu. That really is the best story of the week. But anyway, the winner here is
Michelle Wu.
the Chuck Grassley story.
You can't override the.
She did, in fact.
I won't override. All right, moving on. We tasked Emma Lurking with the wokeliest story of the week, but a bit of a troll, I guess, because we knew that Emma would hate us for that. So
everything we do with them is like 80,
a little bit of a troll. So first of all, Emma, tell us why you hate this list, and tell us just tell us what's going on. I don't know what's going on. What's up?
I was a little busy this morning, and I got punished for it. So
excuse me, I don't understand.
I got a message this morning that instructed me, that was forcing me to create a wokeliest of the week list.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I don't even agree with the premise of wokeliest of the week.
All right.
Because
that's why we get
I'm also obedient, okay?
That's okay.
We each got the thing that mirrors our personality. I'm assholiest of the week. And Ari's goodliest of the week, your wokeliest of the week. That just makes a logical sense.
At the end of this, can we rate who did the worst job picking the 3 headlines thing?
I mean, I don't think you want to do that, Ari.
I pick Matt.
Okay.
I picked great assholes.
No, your middle asshole is terrible.
I don't agree with the premise of wokeliest of the week because I don't agree with the premise of the term.
Do you still want to do it? Do you still want to do the list?
Okay, now I have 2 lists. I have
fine, go ahead.
wokeliest of the week and problematicliest of the week because it makes far more sense to me to call out people who have been problematic than to kind of call out people who have been woke-ish.
Isn't that kind of the same thing? All right, okay, I hear you. Go ahead.
We should read them the same way, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so here's wokeliest of the week.
Yeah.
First headline. Climate change protesters abandon 2-week hunger strike and swarm Senator Joe Manchin's Maserati.
Yeah, what does that mean?
He was in a parking garage, and they started chanting, "We want to live. We want to live," and they wouldn't let him out of the parking garage, and security was trying to drag. If people haven't seen the video, you really should go watch.
But what's with this headline writing? Does that mean that what does that mean? They ordered pizza and they were eating while they swarmed his car? What does it mean they abandoned the hunger strike to swarm? What does that mean?
They
just switched their tactics. They no longer are on a.
Well, because I'm picturing them shoving their faces with like Charleston chews as they do this.
And nobody cared about their hunger strike.
Okay.
It was way
2 weeks is not enough. 2 weeks not enough. You got to get up to like 20 weeks.
I'm starving just thinking about
20 weeks of not eating? That sounds like dying.
That's how the Irish protest. That's how the Northern Irish do. That's how they roll.
That wasn't called a protest. That was called famine.
Buzz,
okay.
Buzz.
Oh, no. We're not talking about famine. How dare you? All right, go ahead, Emma. I like that.
Anyway,
Number two.
How powerful women in tech are pushing for new work policies to prevent burnout.
Okay, explain.
This is basically a story about, there are a couple of anecdotes and a couple of data points that are basically explaining how during the pandemic in particular, it has been women in the C-suite on boards who have been pushing for policies that prevent burnout for employees of all genders. And they have been the ones who have been pushing forward policies like not having company meetings past 4 p.m., like ensuring that people have proper lunch breaks, et cetera, et cetera. And while it is a double-edged sword, because while do I believe that women should bear the responsibility of like the sole fixers of the shitty work environment that people have to engage with? No.
Talk about emotional labor here, free float.
Yes, correct, exactly. But they're fit. I was happy that they were fixing it, and it felt quote unquote wokely to me. So that's why it's included.
Okay.
Number three. More public libraries, including New York Public Library, have eliminated fines for overdue books.
Yay!
I don't know how I feel about this one. Okay, go ahead. Why is this so good?
Love it. I love it.
So
I should have done that.
if you declare a book as lost, you have to pay a
You have
replacement
to replace
fee.
the book. Yeah.
But there are no more like overdue late fees anymore. Basically,
So just keep the book
what people
forever.
decided was that they were unproductive. It was an antiquated system. And if anything, it disincentivizes the people who they want to use library resources the
True.
most. So
That's
if
true.
you have rich people who are taking out books, they don't care
No,
about
that
your
doesn't
fines.
happen.
They can pay
That
them.
doesn't
It's not a
happen.
big deal. But
Yeah.
for people who are lower income, they just aren't. If they have something happen and they can't return the book on time, it completely disincentivizes them from renting
I
books,
hear
from
you.
using other library services.
Don't say renting books. Listen, I'm the only one with the authority to actually have a comment on this
As a
story.
librarian.
So I'm
true.
I'm conflicted on this one because I
Everyone who
actually
used a library.
I'm probably the only one here who still uses the library. Like, I don't actually buy
Excuse me,
books.
I
You use Ari,
tried
of course,
to
Ari.
vote with my library card. Couldn't do it.
That doesn't mean you use the library. So here's the thing: is that I actually like paying my overdue library fines because I feel like it's a donation to the library, which they sorely need.
You
But
can
I'm not.
just make a donation.
But I'm
That
not
too.
I'm not in the class of people that you're referring to, Emma, because I mean I work at Free Float Media, so clearly I'm like practically a king at this point. But I will say this. And this is one of Michelle Wu's things that she's pushing for, and hopefully she'll get through. I want to see public transit free.
Agreed.
That's what I want. Before we worry about overdue library fines. That's all I'm saying. Like if Matt's gonna Matt's gonna
isn't it
confuse
still
the
good?
story in Montreal about like French and indigenous people and boards, like I'm gonna confuse this one with free public transit. I want that done. Okay.
But why are we negating the goodness of eliminating late fees?
I'm with
Just
you. I don't know.
because you can't get
inherently
the
good about
transit you
speaking
want.
French.
I'm a little torn on this one because I'm a very active library user, and the only thing I don't like is that I get my new releases there, and the idea that someone's not going to return the new releases because there's no penalty.
So this is
That's not true.
selfish.
That's
I
what
want the
brings
book.
up-
It's a sharing system, Emma.
He's
Do you know
worried
how
about
public library
himself.
works?
He's
No, it's
worried
not
about
true.
himself.
And if they
Matt, it's
lose
not
it-
true. I
hang
return
on,
the book on
Damien.
time because people are waiting for it, Matt. It's not just about me.
Damien, well, I have a fact that might make you feel better about it. Ready?
Yeah, give it to me. Go.
Okay. So if you accrue more than a certain dollar amount of lost books, late whatever, then you get
They'll cut
suspended
you
from
off?
using the
Okay,
library.
fine. All right. Do you know what that amount is?
Damien.
I think it's $100. I think it's low.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Come on, me. Yes. Damien,
Yeah.
listen, dude.
I'm listening.
When you sign up for the library, you agree to this social contract thing, right?
Okay.
And when you get given you monetize not living up to your social contract, like you put a number on it, people are more likely to be like, fine, I'll just pay that. Like in Israel, parents were picking up their kids from childcare.
Yeah, I know the story.
late.
I know the story. Yeah, I got you. No, I'm with you.
And once the fine started, they got there later because they're like, oh, whatever,
No.
I'll just pay for it. It's
No,
not
I'm with
a
you,
thing
Ari.
about being good anymore. Come on, librarian.
Hey, I just wanted to talk out the issue, okay? I mean, how dare you?
By the
no,
way,
yeah.
to put a data point on it, apparently libraries that have implemented this saw a 200% increase in return library books and other materials.
All right, I'm ready to vote. I'm ready to vote. I've heard
Wow.
enough. I'm going to go with Ari first. What's your vote here? Wokeley, a story of the week.
Obviously, the libraries.
I too, Damian Ross, will pick the libraries because any story about libraries is important. It is the number one public institution in my head. It is the last remaining socialist thing that exists. I can't believe it still exists. I can't believe they haven't been shut down. And if someone proposed that we start a public library system now, it would never happen. Joe Manchin would poo in his diapers before he gave any money to fund the public library system. So any library story gets my vote. Matt, what do you think?
Well, the other two, the Joe Manchin story and the Powerful Women, are basically people hoping something happens by doing like
That's
policy
true.
initiatives and
Right.
shaking his car. The library is actually doing a thing, and it's for the good of humanity that we get educated, so that we don't have more Joe
Amen.
Manchin. So yes, that's a sweep on the library.
Okay, moving on. Emma, you have another list, Emma, that
I
was
do.
not
I'll
accounted
make it
for.
fast,
Yeah, go
I
ahead. No,
promise.
go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
we won't interrupt. By we, I mean Damien.
Yeah, this wasn't planned.
Both of you.
No library
right.
headlines, please.
welcome to problematicliest
Oh,
of
we
the week.
have to be
I might
welcome
find a
to
new
it.
word
Okay.
for that.
All right.
But headline 1.
Wait. Say it again.
Microsoft
Whoa. Problematicist.
problematicliest.
He can't keep his mouth shut. I told you.
Problem. No, I know it's a cultural problem. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Headline number 1. Microsoft president says race to build new climate tech is like JFK's plan to go to the moon. Now, this one requires a little explanation on my part. There are other things that have happened.
You can just
this week
explain.
that
You don't have to explain that you're
could
going to
be
explain.
considered, well, if you wouldn't interrupt me, it wouldn't be a problem.
I'm interrupting your poor mechanics. Go ahead.
No, Damon, you go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Damon,
That's the
go
last
ahead.
word
It's
I'm
okay.
ever going to speak on this show.
Good.
Only that were true.
So, there are other things this week that could be considered more problematic than this, but
Okay.
here is why I included it. I think that this is an insane thing to say because going to
Why?
the moon is basically inconsequential to humanity. Building new climate tech and figuring
Undecided.
out how to save the earth is the most crucial issue of our time. So
Debatable.
how the Microsoft president, who actively runs a company that contributes negatively to climate change, I don't give a shit about Bill Gates.
Also
He can
debatable.
donate as many like syringes as he wants. I don't care. He
All right.
is creating issues. I think that this is such a problematic comparison to compare something that is unbelievably frivolous compared to an actual worldwide disaster that is we are currently dealing with horribly.
Okay, we'll call
Moving
this the
on.
Prince Charles opinion. Who was it? Prince Harry or who?
It was
who
Charles,
was yelling at
yeah.
the Prince Charles? Okay, moving on. Number 2.
Yeah. Mr. My Aston Martin runs on wine and cheese. Okay. All
I
right,
don't know
number
what that
2.
means.
He has an Aston Martin that runs on wine and cheese. That is not
I
a
still
joke.
don't know what that means. Okay, go ahead. Number 2.
Number 2. As teens left Facebook, company
Ooh.
planned to lure 6-year-olds to the
Ugh.
platform.
That's
This one is
problematic.
bad.
Yeah,
They-
that
I don't
doesn't
think it
feel
needs any
good.
context.
It doesn't feel good. Yeah, no
I know, you
explanation
don't even-
necessary.
It's just gross.
The only context I'll give is
Yeah.
that of the thousands of pages of Facebook documents leaked by whistleblower Francis Haugen, one of them said that they were hiring people to figure out how to incorporate 12 to 6-year-olds onto the platform.
Ooh, we don't usually hear ages grouped that way. Usually it's up, right? Up the ladder. I like that. I
random.
like that. And by the way,
12 to
anytime we
6.
get an article that has a headline that has the word lure in it, I get very excited. I think that's very exciting. Thank you.
Yeah,
I hope
nothing
it's,
says
you're not
exciting like
excited
luring.
when the following words are 6-year-olds. I hope you don't get too
Don't-
excited.
Don't judge me.
All right.
All right, number 3.
Number 3, the billionaire who hates the wealth tax says that there's, and I quote, no sympathy for billionaires and that the ultra wealthy are being attacked for, and I quote, no reason.
For no reason. Is that our favorite billionaire? Is that our favorite Leon Cooperman?
Wait, who's your favorite billionaire?
Well, Leon Cooperman, clearly.
Correct. That is.
Yes, he's our
Leon
whiniest
Cooperman.
billionaire. I mean,
Did he really say
he's
that?
the whinier extreme. So I'm glad that he's
guys.
back in our headlines.
Here's
so-
here's a cute little quote from him.
On the same page.
I think it's all baloney. I don't think it's constitutional. It's not going
Baloney.
to happen in reference to the
Probably true.
theoretical billionaire tax.
Unfortunately, I mean, he's probably right. I mean, they're going to figure out how to hide wealth, right? I mean,
They already know how to hide wealth just fine.
Yeah, right. So yeah.
I like the idea that billionaires require sympathy. Like,
I know.
I want to think that.
Yeah, they're a protected class now. Yeah.
Mhm.
What's your 3? You want us to vote, Emma? Our 3 problematic stories?
The last thing I'll say is just another quote that I think is great because it completely contradicts what he just said. But he
Sure.
also stated, I believe in a progressive income tax structure and that rich people should pay and do pay more in taxes. We, however,
right.
don't need new forms of taxation. Get rid of the loopholes. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but you know why he's saying that? Because it's that idea of income tax, which is where they've hidden most of their wealth, right? I mean,
Right.
that's the problem, is that as we've talked about with these $1 salaries, it's all, this income, it's all horseshit. All right. And I will point
Right.
out that Leon Cooperman's biggest, the person he hates most on the earth is Elizabeth Warren, who is the part of my favorite story, Michelle Wu, a disciple, Elizabeth, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah,
Damien,
blah,
who are you voting for problematically?
blah.
All right, let's
Yeah,
vote.
I think
Damien, you're going
yeah, I think
last. Shush. Ari, you're
Oh,
going
wow. Ari, nicely done.
Mr. Cooperman.
first. Woohoo!
Cooperman. I had to look.
All
him up.
right.
Coop.
Mr.
Matt?
Pooperman. Well, first of all, your first story, Microsoft saying the race to build new climate tech is like JFK's plan to go to the moon. Do you know the tech that came out of the moon
Yes.
landing that was
Thank you.
used?
Computers.
Like we have modern computers because of it. We have
Maybe
satellites
not good,
and
though.
cell phones because
Maybe
of
not
it.
good.
We have
Yeah, I was about to say, do those things
They went
qualify as
to-
good?
They
Like,
used to
are
be
we-
good.
we have
They used to
actually
be fun.
like inflammable
We have the metaverse
materials.
now. How did it turn out?
We have inflammable
True, Emma.
materials partially as a result of it. We have, honestly, the tech goes on and on. Integrated circuits are they fly by
That's
wire,
cool.
spring tires. We have all
But
these
it was
things
a
that we
side
never
effect.
have
Integrated
before.
circuits, Matt.
They wanted
think
to
what
shoot
Matt-
themselves
just
onto
saying.
the moon so they could go, we're the best country in the world. Plant
I
flag.
think what Matt ineloquently is trying to say is that number one is debatable. So let's move on. What's your vote?
But you can't. How can anyone say that it's not problematic that Facebook planned to lure 6-year-olds onto their platform?
Ari said it wasn't.
Lure.
Ari voted for Coop.
That goes beyond problematic into a little bit of pee just entered my diaper.
Is that a bad thing? Why is that bad? All right.
Really gross.
I'm full on supporting Matthew Muscardi on that one. I mean, come on, what are we doing
Parents in the
here?
room.
But what are we doing? Come on, what are we doing? What are we doing? No, really, what are we doing? I don't know. All
Well,
right.
if it said, Ari, does it have to say lure 29-year-olds for you to feel really gross about it?
Oh, see that.
All right.
There you go. There, did it.
Ari is shrouded in purple today, so she feels bad about nothing. All right,
I'm
those are our segments. So let's move on quickly. Does anybody want to say who won the week? Who won the week? Does anybody have an answer? I'll go to that person if anyone has an answer.
Robert,
Who
I think
won
I
the
did.
week? I mean, we know my vote is Michelle Wu. That's so. Yeah, Emma, go ahead. Go ahead, Emma.
I think I won the week because
Okay. Explain.
I took the shitty
Yeah.
category you assigned me and turned it
Okay.
into a much better category and did extra credit.
All
So
right,
it's me.
I accept
I
that.
love
I
it.
accept that.
I'm
Ari.
gonna say Emma won the week.
All right, so you're both not taking who won the week seriously. Matt, come on, take it seriously for me. Who won the week?
I
Clearly
think
not Emma. Stop
it
it.
was somewhere between Emma, Ari's eyelash perm, and
TMI.
And,
I got one of those like a month ago.
How dare you?
I think Robert Sarver won the week. I mean, is
Ooh.
there anybody? Can you like
I
winning
guess you
the
can
week?
negatively win a week, right?
Is there anybody who's going to absorb more airtime than Robert Sarver for the next 3 weeks? All we're going to be reading about is how a bunch of billionaires are going to get in a room and wring their hands about, do we get rid of them? Now
Yeah,
we
right.
set this precedent with Donald Sterling. We have to get rid of them. How do we get rid of them? How much money do we have to spend? Like, who's going to be the next one? It can't be like Robert Sarver Jr. who takes over.
Right,
Like
right.
Jay Gruden's son is still on the,
Ew.
John Gruden's son is still on his stupid staff. Like, it's just going to absorb
Yeah.
so much airtime that he won the week.
All right. Okay. Is that it? We all did it. I
You
guess
didn't vote.
Emma. No,
You
I
were
vote for Michelle Wu. Yeah, Emma. I guess you
So,
won the week because
Emma
right.
won the
Ari-
week. She got more
Yeah.
votes.
Okay. All right. Before we wrap up, does anybody have any predictions?
Me.
Who said
The winner
me?
does.
Emma, go ahead. What's your prediction?
My prediction, based on this headline, which is
Yeah.
actually based on another headline,
I thought you were going to define prediction first, but go ahead. Yeah. What's your prediction? Go ahead.
in the dictionary, the word prediction sounds like I'm giving like a speech at a wedding. I don't know.
Have you been to a wedding?
Been to a lot of weddings.
Nerdiest wedding.
The nerdiest
Emma, have you been
wedding.
to a wedding? Okay, you're a millennial. No, you're not a millennial. Gen Z.
Oh, geez.
I
Do,
am.
do Gen Zers have weddings? And how do they cope with weddings during the pandemic? What do you do? Where do you go? Zoom? Have you been to
No,
a Zoom wedding? Nobody cares. Or
I
what's your
actually
prediction?
did actually
Nobody
weirdly.
does
I
care.
did go to a pandemic wedding. I
Except that
actually was
Ari
a
got
photographer
weddings.
at a pandemic wedding.
With a mask? Everyone was masked?
Yeah,
Ugh. Okay. All right.
yeah.
Ugh.
Except for like the bride and groom, who
Okay.
like everyone got tested before. Everyone was masked except for them, so they could
Sure.
like do the whole vow thing.
So we could see their
Um,
incredibly beautiful faces. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Um,
Emma,
but okay,
prediction.
here's my prediction. So this week, if you didn't know, Blue Origin sued NASA for not considering them appropriately for the contract that they ended up giving SpaceX, Elon Musk's aerospace
Right.
company. And a judge recently struck it down and said, no, not valid. NASA's fine. And Elon Musk shared a meme of Judge Dredd, who was the judge on the case, saying, "You have been judged," after Blue Origin loses their NASA lawsuit.
Oh, so
And
clever.
so my
Yep.
prediction is that this has been a long time coming. And I think that Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are either going to duel or get married. I think there's only one of two options. It's duel or get married. They
wish-
either love each other so
Emma,
much
Yeah.
or they're
Emma,
gonna
I wish
each
that was
other's
a possibility. I really wish they would get married. I wish that was a possibility, but that can never happen. It'll never happen.
I just want them to
You
ride
say
each other's
so.
spacecrafts. That's all I want.
All right. Thank you, Emma. I'll give my prediction. I was digging into the Theranos trial a little bit, Elizabeth Holmes. My only prediction is that there's a lot to learn from this trial from a corporate governance point of view. My only
Oh, yeah,
prediction.
you got all our listeners listening now.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm
Ari just
gonna
passed out.
gloss over this quickly. My only sad prediction is that this trial is going to teach us nothing about nothing. Like
Damien,
no
is
one.
she going to jail
yeah.
or not? That's the only
I
prediction
don't
we
even
care about.
care. Okay, well, that's the follow up to my thing because my prediction is that it's going to teach us nothing about nothing other than how fun it is to vilify another blonde CEO. That's the game here. That's the sport because there's a lot. There's a lot to unravel. Let me just tell you these three anecdotes because they were kind of blowing my mind. Wade Michelone, the former CFO of Walgreens, admitted he did not know whether the company had tested any Theranos devices before striking up a partnership. Okay.
What do you need to know?
Lisa Peterson, a representative for the billion-dollar DeVos family, conceded that she did not visit Theranos testing centers or speak to outside experts before investing $100 million. And finally, Christopher Lucas of Black Diamond Ventures said that he did not examine Theranos' financial records before investing $7 million, except because he accepted Holmes's argument that doing so would risk a leak that could help rivals. So again, this is the kind of crap that we should be somehow learning from, or
Yeah.
I don't know how, but no one's going
Great
to care
argument.
because
Go
we're
look.
throwing out a blonde CEO. This is like the Martha Stewart, Marissa Meyer syndrome again.
No, it's the everyone's a victim syndrome because while I do agree that the blonde female CEO makes themselves
agreed
an
with me.
excellent mark.
Great target.
But I had the same feeling about Bernie Madoff, who conned hundreds of millions of
Bacon.
dollars out of people, and but didn't put people's health in the line of fire as directly as Elizabeth Holmes did. But
Right.
Madoff and Holmes are con artists. That's what they were. But Madoff, like all the victims, when asked, they read zero prospectuses. They read zero things about what he actually did with the money. They never asked him what was going on with their accounts. All they did was see a number go up, and they felt good about themselves. They did zero due diligence. These are not like people who had no money. These are people who had millions of dollars to invest with Madoff. You had to be an accredited investor to invest in his funds. Is the same thing here. You're finding out that literally everyone involved in the Theranos ecosystem asked zero questions. They were so busy chasing what they thought was millions upon millions of dollars
Chasing
for
a
themselves
unicorn.
that they asked zero questions. The human instinct to give up all agency and ask any hard questions when they think they can get rich is unbelievable, and I think that's what that's your big takeaway. That's what the trial takeaway is to me. It's she should go to jail, and everyone else is an idiot too.
Ari, do you have a prediction?
I do. Mine's a little longer term. It's gonna take some years.
That's okay.
But my prediction is Gen Z will bring down the wedding industry.
This is my
Yeah.
Emma knows that like one of my favorite things to hate is the wedding industry. I have
Amy and I talk about weddings a
Damien.
lot.
Emma so much on this topic. I hate the wedding industry.
I also know this.
Okay.
I
you
know
know
that
too.
you want everyone who you ever give a check to for getting married to give it back to you
If they
plus
get divorced.
interest if they get divorced.
Yeah, I mean, why is that not codified? I don't understand.
I
All right.
totally agree.
The beautiful prediction. Ari, you won the week. Look at Michelle Wu. I mean, what does Michelle Wu know? All right. Matt, any predictions before we get the hell out of here?
I got a prediction for you, and it's going to be controversial for you all, but
You're all
gonna
fired.
Suck
Yeah.
it anyway. Which is
Okay.
this is the week that cancer culture broke itself.
Okay.
Because when Quebec is busy yelling
we go
about
again.
French
don't like
language
this.
rather than equality on boards, Indigenous people's rights, all the other problems that exist in the world, no, it's you should be able to speak fucking French. That's what we're outraged about.
You know what? You should learn a freaking language. If you don't
Ari,
speak English,
once again, Ari
get
for the
culture.
win.
It's not about learning a language
Matt
or
hates
not, or getting culture or
bilingualism.
not. It's about a priority
True
list
American,
where
Matt is.
we are knee jerk outraged about every goddamn thing. I think
Ooh,
the
J.K. Rowling Biscardi. I like it.
I
My
like
favorite term.
like this is my problem with the Dave Chappelle can be a transphobic
Here we go.
comedian all
Turn this
day.
mic off, Emma.
That's all I'm saying. But we're gonna get angry and outraged about everything everyone ever says without prioritizing what we should
Well,
actually be outraged
I
about.
didn't even hear about Quebec until the show. So
This is an interesting topic that I'm sure we'll cover in weeks going on because this does seem to be one of the stories of the week. They're blaming the election losses on the woke generation. I don't get that, but hey, I mean, yeah, there you go.
Because honestly, they're not wrong in this respect. Everyone's so mad about everything that it's coalesced the conservative wing of America into saying, "Look how batshit crazy all you people! You people are angry about everything." And they're the
Yeah.
anger side. They're the angry side of the aisle. That's the irony.
Except
But
you're
we've
except
given them
they're
something to
constantly
coalesce around.
blaming. Except you're constantly blaming progressives when your shitty moderate candidate can't beat a conservative. That's the part I don't understand. But anyway, Michelle Wu, not a shitty moderate, a bona fide progressive, winning the election in Boston, and just to prove that Emma made the wrong decision leaving Boston because Boston is now by far the cool place to be. That's the show, Matt. That's all I got. I got nothing else to say.
That is Damian Rollis and Emma
New
Lurking
Business Pants
and-
Friday show.
and
Yeah.
Ari, the data queen. Go download Woke Data, which is our new podcast. You can also, if you haven't noticed that the format of this show has changed, we're going to be doing these Friday shows, but every day we're going to sprinkle you with a few biz nuggets to get you here. We're just going to drop some biz nuggets all over your salad. But let us know what you think of this, because no one ever talks to us about everything. In fact, there's like 6 people who listen to this damn show. We the amount of time we put into this show for all 6 of you, you should be calling us every day with your thoughts and feelings. 872-FLOAT72. Send us a text message. Leave us a voicemail. Send us an email. Go on LinkedIn or Twitter or someplace and pretend we have a social media presence and contact us there. These are important things that you can do to support Emma's woke needs. Is that what you have? Woke needs? That's what Damien told me before the show. That's all we got. We'll see you next week.
Not true.